Welcome, fellow Evercadians and retro enthusiasts. This is Retro-9, and you are watching the Evercade Effect. So you're probably wondering, Activision Collection on Evercade. Yeah, well, check this out, Let me show you this. Woo! Okay, cool. Go to my Evercade, and, here we go. There's an Activision cart. Let's go ahead and put this in here. I'm sorry, everyone. I had this whole thing planned out. Oh, now it's not working. No. I'm just joking with y'all. That's not like the extending battery life on Evercade. No. This is, I promise, this is not a goof. This is a real video. So let's go ahead. Nope. Okay, now that we sent the Evercade back to its proper spot, I do want to talk about a tweet. I think I sent it out a few weeks ago, months, I don't know. My time frame is off. But I did show that I got the Activision cart for the Game Boy Advance and the instruction booklet. If you can see that here. I'll also put up on the screen the image from the tweet. It shows a little bit better. So, you might be asking yourself, well, what does that have to do with the Evercade? Well, I think it would be awesome to have the Game Boy Advance, and there's a specific reason why this version of the Activision Collection to be on the Evercade.
No, I want one of those!
So, I could have gone ahead and just made the video and said, yeah, it's a GBA port, it'll run, okay, goodbye, end the video. No. There's a lot more to that, and this video is actually going to be in two parts. What I think is important and that I wanted to share with you all is how this even came about. How did I acquire the Game Boy Advance? How do I have this cart? How did I get this idea? There's a whole history behind it. So part one, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. And yeah, another thing we're going to talk about, I did send off an email to the developer who did create this port of the game for the GBA, and I did send off an email to Blizzard Activision, and did I get responses? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out, and I'll actually be sharing the email. And I think the second video will more so talk about the gameplay, how this would work on the Evercade, and all that good stuff. But I would like to go ahead and dive into the history and my quest of how this came to be. So let's begin! So, for my audience outside of North America, let me just explain that the Atari 2600 was like, such an awesome, such a popular system, and I think y'all who aren't from North America and haven't played the Atari 2600, you're in for a big treat. If you can just look past the graphics, don't let that throw you off, you're really gonna find some fun games. And the Activision games, those were known, just some of like the really good Atari games, such as Pitfall and Sequest. I mean, definitely most people really know Pitfall, but there's also some lesser known games that, aren't as popular. They're fantastic. So let me go ahead and let me just play this commercial here. Let me just refresh your memory.
Action-packed video game cartridges from Activision at Hills. Saddle up with Stampede riding in a rope and cattle. Step into a helicopter gunship with chopper command.
Warp into hyperspace with Star Master.
Hang on to your feathers when the chicken crosses the road in three-way.
Or watch out for the Mad Bomber and put out his fuses with kaboom.
Hill's big selection of Activision games are made for your Atari video system. The action of Activision, priced low every day at Hills.
So there you go. I hope y'all enjoyed that. So, first of all, I was definitely aware of these games growing up. Atari 2600, like a lot of you out there, one of your favorite systems. But as you grow older, as a kid, move on to NES, Super NES. Did I just call it Super NES? Super NES. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, you gotta forget about some of the older systems. And to be honest with you, I actually did forget about the Atari games until Evercade came out. It was awesome rediscovering them. Well, admittedly, I also forgot about the Activision games. Until y'all remember Mr. Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions. Yes! On various episodes of the Evercast, he would talk about Activision. He would, pull out one of the physical cards and all that. And so that, that kind of got me back involved and and thinking about it. Growing up, I remember neighbors having Pitfall and Sequest. Those were 2 games that were suited to my brain. But then, after a while, just, as I mentioned earlier, just kind of forgot about them. Well, after getting to know Rich a little bit more and whatnot, this video here, called The Old Man in the Sequest, I will put a link somewhere in the show notes. You gotta check it out. This video was hilarious. Hilarious. Oh, and just, it's just such an inspirational video. Rich went ahead and tells a tale of getting a Sequest badge and all that. But it was just so fantastic. So that really put Activision games back on my radar. Another gentleman I have to give a shout out to, which is Tiny Tim's Arcade.
Get it right or pay the price.
If you haven't watched him, I would recommend checking out his channel. He often talks a lot about Atari and Activision. So those kind of things have been on my brain a lot. Around that time, y'all may have seen me, shameless promotion alert, do my 1,000 sub giveaway for Paper Mario. And made me really look at and examine my GameCube collection. And I had a couple of Dreamcast games, some PS2 games, PS1 games, and keep in mind that sadly, GameCube is long gone. I can still play it on the Wii, and but my PS2, that stopped working, and everything else. And yes, admittedly, I do have a software-modified Wii, woo! And there was a time where I did revisit those games, and I did think to myself, do I actually have to own physical copies of those games? Would I be happy enough just, downloading and playing an ISO? If I needed to, did I have to have the physical media? For the nostalgia. And, the answer to myself was no. I mean, the funny thing is, I've had those games for a while. Gathering Dust. Didn't bother to play them. Yes, I enjoyed them, my college years and early adult years, but it didn't grab the nostalgia for me like a Nintendo, a Game Boy, Genesis, or what have you would. So, I'm kind of doing some research locally. I found a place called Game Over Video Games. Yeah. I was like, okay, this looks like a legit retro store. I kind of saw people's feedback. And one of the things that really, really hit it home for me is you'd have some people complain about, well, their selection is limited, they don't have everything. And then other people would say, well, yeah, they have a little bit of everything. And yes, that's a retro store. You can't you can't just go and order, I'll take 5 Sega Saturns, I'll take 10 TurboGrafx, throw in a couple of Neo Geo AESs, yeah, go ahead and ship that right up. No, they strictly rely on getting the stock. Depends on what other people trade in for their collections. So it's not like, retro stuff doesn't grow on trees.
Well, I never would have guessed.
So, I knew this was a real place. And I went ahead and I tallied everything up on price charting. And I'll be candid with you guys on what it was worth and what I wanted to trade in. And I went in on a Saturday. And I just decided to trade in the collection. They went ahead and they looked at all my games and all that. And luckily everything was working, as I knew it would. I keep everything in pristine collection, but don't worry, I still have this. Again, shameless plug for my 1,000 sub giveaway. I did not give this away. And by the way, I should mention too, there locally, that game is getting expensive. Still, it's in their display case, but they're wanting $150 for it. But I was tempted, but no, I'm kidding. Of course, y'all. When I get to 1,000 subs, that's gonna be part of the giveaway. Anyways, so to get back on track here, for price charting, everything was valued at roughly around $600. And they gave me around, $400 for store credit. I was perfectly happy with that, because when you take away eBay fees, the time to set all this out, set it up, do auctions, that's at least another $100. So for me, it was really worth it. Just do it for store credit. And the fun thing is, I had the option to go to the store. They have 3 locations where I live. I could use the store credit anywhere. But kind of just the fun of going through and going to a real store, seeing what they have in the wild. That was awesome. So I went ahead and did that. Had no clue what I wanted, so I was like, all right, I got my credit, took care of that, and all this good stuff. So when I was in there, the nostalgia bug didn't bite me. I didn't really see anything, and so I just left the store, kind of happy. Next week or so, I went to their other location. And I will go ahead and show you some footage because they actually have a museum. Yes, a console museum. Of course, they're not for sale. I mean, they have like your classic Nintendo, the upright model, Sega Master System. So yeah, let me go ahead and just show you. I asked their permission if I could, film it. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy some of this footage here, and we'll come back. we are back. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that. So, went into this place, I was overwhelmed. They had like twice the inventory as the other store, much bigger store. And I'm looking through, I see everything, you know, they have like Shinobi in the box, complete, like $100. They have other various cool games like that for Genesis and Super Nintendo. You know, they have the regular Nintendos, not the top loaders, and, you know, some other games, but, you know, and this is the top loader, I don't want to mess with the Nintendo. The toaster models are kind of meh. They did have a Super Nintendo and Genesis, a little bit higher than I wanted to pay, and the Super Nintendo was just kind of, you know, yellow and plastic. So I just kind of looked around, and then I see they have a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, and a Game Boy SP. And I kind of paused for a second, and I should explain to y'all that there was a point in time where the Game Boy, the original DMG Game Boy, the OG one, was my favorite system. I loved that thing. I had the newer model.
Yeah, I know.
They could run on 2 batteries. I had the rechargeable pack. You got like 20 plus hours. This thing was great. I had a ton of games. Had the Light Boy, all that good stuff. And as a matter of fact, there was a point in time I enjoyed that more, you know, than the Super Nintendo, than the Genesis, and the graphics on those other systems are awesome. And I can remember one of my friends, his brother, you know, he was, well, you know, the guy was a douche, but he wouldn't let me play over at their house, the Super Nintendo or Genesis, until I admitted to him, and this killed me, that the Genesis was better than the Game Boy. And that guy's name is Josh. And you know what, Josh? I lied. I lied so I could just play some games. But yeah, I loved and valued the Game Boy more than that. So why do I bring this up? Because when I saw it, you know, it's kind of like that moment where the nostalgia bug kind of got me. And I had no idea what I was even looking for. You know, I wanted something physical, you know, some original hardware. Yes, I was craving that. I didn't actually have to spend any money, which is great. It was just stuff lying around. And this was a different, for me, this was just a different type of nostalgia. The Evercade is cool. I still love my Evercade, of course. I get to play a lot of different things, but yeah, I just wanted something on original hardware. Didn't want to duplicate what was on the Evercade. Had no idea what that was. So the gentleman there was really, really cool. He let me play with the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, the other first generation GBA. He had batteries. I got to test out a bunch of games and all that. And I got to take my time. I was there for like an hour. And initially, I was turned off for getting the Game Boy SP because it was all scruffy. And
Who's scruffy looking?
I'll have to show you guys, you know, some of the carts and what I got. You know, it was all scruffy. You know, very, very much loved. But when you open it up, screen was good, controls are good, everything is tight. It's just the shell's kind of rough. And, you know, they wanted $100 for it to use credit. And yeah, I know that's a little bit steep. But keep in mind, I'm using my credit. I'm here. I don't have to get off of eBay. I actually get to see and touch the thing. I know if it's going to work. And then I'm like, could I just get over that? I could really always replace the shell. Could I see myself owning this? And then I was like, well, you know what? Since it is already scruffy, I'll be fine. Keep it in my pocket. So, you know, I was thinking about that. But then I saw over where they had Game Boy games. And I saw the original version of OG Tetris, and then I knew my fate was sealed. It was meant for me to get because, Tetris is just one of my all-time favorite games. Like a lot of you, I love that on the Game Boy. And if I'm being honest, for me, I like the fact that everything was colorized. I don't know if it's just getting older, but for me, I have a hard time looking at the black and white. So I didn't mind that. Of course, too, the gentleman was very nice. He showed me that you can hold down, I think it's like down an A or B when you boot it up, and you can also still play black and white. So I was like, yeah! The only downside to the SP really is just, you know, the Game Boy game sticks out, but it plays everything. And so this was awesome. This was really cool. So yeah, I ended up using $200 of my credit, and then over the last like weeks or so, I've been going there. I've been getting some games, kind of back and forth. But so here is where I know this is a long-winded story, but I just, for me, it's important to share the nostalgia. So while I was there, I did pick up, you know, that Namco collection, which had Miss Pac-Man, and that gave me the idea for that other, you know, the extended Evercade battery life video. But because of the collection, I asked the guy, like, do you have any other, you know, are there any other collections of like anything at all? And he was like, oh, well, what you mean, like the Activision Anthology Collection? What? there's an Activision Anthology Collection. Of course, they didn't have it, but then there was another quest. I had to get it. So over the next few weeks or so, it was fun. I was, kind of gone down to both locations, looked and see what they had for games. I didn't want to blow my wad and get everything at once. It was just really fun going down there, talking to other people, both customers and the people that work there. I'm like, when I'm 5 years from retirement, that's where I'm going to work. So yeah, I just love the environment and everything. So I will now go ahead and I'll show you some of the games that I got here real briefly, even though it has nothing to do with this. And then I'll actually talk about how I acquired the Activision Collection. And we'll go from there. Okay, so here it is. And let me just show you here in the camera, see? It's all scratched up and good. And the bottom there, you can kind of see that too. Yeah. So, now let me go ahead and show you the inside. So it's a little bit scruffy up there, but you can see the screen is good. The controls and everything were great. So yeah, that's how I got that. And I wanted to get it for some of the exclusive titles that unfortunately will never see the light of day on the Evercade. You Nintendo! But you know what I mean. So let me just kind of show you here. Got me my Tetris. I recently got, this is the second one for Super Mario Land. And the battery save works. That's a great thing, is they test everything there. And it worked. And actually the cool thing is I think they put in a new battery because I went to play the game, there are no saves. This is the Japanese version of Bomberman. This is the OG version of Mario Land. And then, of course, I did have to pick up R-Type 3, which is very, very hard. I got that the first day, and then I didn't even know this. Again, the games that will never go to the Evercade. That Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, they ported it. Just one of my favorites. I love that. It says Mario Land 2 in the enhanced version of Super Mario Brothers. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. And then what else did I recently get? Shinobi. Yeah, Anthology and all that. So, anyways, so yeah, those are just some of the games. And the great thing is with you. Okay, so with Activision Anthology, they didn't have it there, and I really wanted to get these games in the wild, but neither of the two locations had it. The third location is way too far. I'm not gonna drive out there. So I just went ahead and just Googled, Activision Anthology GBA. Boom. It comes up on eBay. Okay. And I see it, and it comes with a booklet, and it's $20 plus $4 shipping. And I'm looking at it, and I could tell, it looked real, looked legit. They didn't open the cart, but everything looked legit. And I did a search on Amazon, and quite a few resellers wanted $40 friggin' for just the game by itself. And I did get that little, I did get that little lip, that little sleeve, this thing, which is cool. I need to find more of those because with the Evercade, they're all covered in the clamshell, so I was spoiled. But with everything being in the shoebox here, at least it keeps the dust up. But anyways, so I'm like, wow, for everything being complete, I think it was like valued $50-$60 at price trading at the time. I didn't care about the cardboard boxes, so that's the thing. With the Evercade, it gives me that collector feel, that scratches that itch. I get an instruction booklet, I get the case and everything. For these, I just want to play the games, I just want the nostalgia of the loose carts. I don't need to have them be complete, because quite frankly, they're too friggin' expensive. So, after doing some research, I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is a good deal. There's just a little rip in the back of the booklet. I don't necessarily need the booklet, but I'll take it. I mean, that's very cool. And so you can zoom in on the images and everything, and I compared it to other images. I'm like, all right, this is a legit copy. $20, buy it now. It's mine. So I went ahead and got that. And then yeah, I got it. I got it for the GBA, and it was just instant nostalgia for me. Very, 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 very much so. And as I was playing it, I was thinking, man, this would look so good on the Evercade. And this is the GBA port. We know it can run GBA, and we know that the GBA, I believe, takes up like a bigger screen area for certain games. Dude, this could totally totally just be ported over. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I've just been, been busy with other stuff. Other collections have come out, but that really got my brain thinking. Yeah, what if we, what if we had this? Because the one thing with the Game Boy Advance is the frontlit one. You can play it in the dark and all that cool stuff. The screen isn't as nice as the Evercade. The resolution, isn't as big and whatnot. But it's still good. I mean, you can turn it on and off, and for me, I definitely have to have a light. Now, I was shocked, and the other thing too is I got a replacement battery for it, so it can last a lot longer. I think it was like the Megabat 900 milliamp hours. So that's also what spawned me to kind of thinking to make that other video, because with Evercade, yeah, it seems like I get to play it 2 or 3 times, and then I gotta charge it, and then I have to be tethered. This new battery, yeah, I can, actually, for the first time, I charged it once yesterday. I don't know what percentage of the charge it was already at, and I've had to charge my Evercade 3 or 4 times. Yes, apples and oranges, different hardware. So yeah, another reason the VS comes out, I don't have to worry about that, but this would be great on the VS. There's some 2-player games and everything, so that's another reason. So yeah, the problem though with Activision Anthology is, for number one, you have to have a Game Boy Advance or some means to play that. Yes, there's other versions of the collection, and I'll go ahead and I'll be going into that. And then the other thing is there are some games like Kaboom that are really dark. You can adjust the brightness, but some of them are a little bit hard to see. So I just know on the Evercade it would pop, and it would be totally awesome. So yeah, all these things are coming together. I'm like, we need this. Yes. There's just one little thing that stands in the way. And that is licensing. Alright, so here I've got up the Wikipedia page of the Activision Anthology, and I just wanted to go ahead and, look into a few things. There's various versions and whatnot, some things that I want to go ahead and talk about. And if you scroll down here, you will see the GBA version. Yeah, Aspire. They're the developers for that, so I found that to be very, very interesting. And then you'll look down here and they talk about the Game Boy Advance, including some homebrew games, but it doesn't include the, iMagic games or Commando. But, still it's a very great collection. Yeah, it doesn't play music during gameplay, which I didn't know that some of the other ones, they didn't do that, but it does include 4 awesome tracks when you boot up the game and get into, which I'll talk more about that when I get into gameplay and, and everything else here. So, if we scroll down, you'll see the chart, you'll see the list. So there's a Windows, a Mac version, PS2 never gonna run on the Evercade, so boop. Gonna get rid of that. Digiblast, not really sure what that is. Yeah, it's not gonna emulate PSP or iOS. And then Android. Could they port over Android? Look at the list here. And interestingly enough, the Android version, it includes some iMagic. Well, it includes Dragonfire and Demon Attack. Which Dragonfire is practically my favorite Atari game of all time. But anyways, so if we go back up here, you can see that the GBA version, yeah, it includes pretty much a bunch of things. There's something called the Bloody Human Freeway, which is Freeway, but it's a weird kind of different version on it. But there's like just a lot of great games. You can see, all the list here, like Hero, Frostbite, those look so good on the Evercade. And I haven't even played all these, but Kaboom would be great. Yeah, you don't have the pedal controls, but for the VS, you could. Mega Mania, Laser Blast. There's just so many. You get Pitfall, Pitfall 2, River Raid, which I like that better than the second one. And again, when I go ahead and I cover, when I cover in the second video here, kind of going in more about the different games and showing the footage and how this collection is laid out and all that. I'll talk about that if they couldn't port the whole collection, they could only port some games, what would be my favorite games to bring over. And then, yeah, there's some prototypes and all that. But yeah, it would be nice if we got the Magic Collection. So, and if we go ahead and we click on Aspire, yeah, we find out a little bit about this company. They've been known for porting and doing some games like Star Wars franchise, Borderlands, SimCity, Call of Duty, Sid Meier, and all that. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. So yeah, we know there's a separate developer. Activision only published it. Now, I did email Aspire, and I did email Activision and Blizzard. Did I get any responses when it hadn't happened? You know, does Aspire own the rights? Or does Activision own the rights? Now, I emailed them both asking them. And in the second video, we will find out if I got a response. What did they say? You know, does Aspire hold the rights? Or does Activision, do they hold the hammer over them? And they make the decisions. If Aspire was to own the rights, smaller company, probably much easier for Blaze Entertainment to deal with. The one thing I will say too about this collection is that if it were to make its way to the Evercade, it would basically be a license to print money. A lot like the Intellivision collection. There's people who would buy the Evercade and get into it just for this reason. I think they would buy the handheld just to have a portable version of this, and if they know they could just pop it into the VS and play with their friends and, you know, use pedal controllers and all that good stuff. Yeah, total license to print money, and it would be awesome! So, what I want to know, what's your favorite Atari Activision game? Go ahead and put that in the comments below. Also too, if this collection magically did come across to the Evercade, would you totally buy it? You know, would you? Or are you just like, I go ahead and pass on it? Or, you know, have you never played these games, but you would still get it? Go ahead and put that in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to know, you know, what y'all think about the Activision collection. Also too, are you all interested in me showing any Game Boy stuff? Would you rather I create a second channel? Do you like that I'm dedicated to the Evercade? Because I love me the Evercade. I love me the GBA. But if y'all are interested in seeing GBA, let me know. You know, put in the comments there below. I may also do some more videos focused on that. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, follow me. Let's get to 1,000 subs. I appreciate everyone out there. And when we get to 300 subs again, I will give away the Oliver Twins Collection. And I'll give the details once we get to that. If I'm already past 300 subs, and you're watching this now, then I'm sorry, the Oliver Twins Collection has already been given away. But if I haven't gotten to the 1,000 subs, then check out that giveaway. If I have, I'm sure I'll be having more giveaways on my channel. And, well, I created content. Bye-bye!